make money or make more money. But all jokes aside, money's gonna be the byproduct of what we go over today. Like the weather on the Faroe Islands, the emotional state of getting older while still being in your childhood bedroom is like ever-changing. It could be so unpredictable, at least for me. You could be focusing on like, oh, I'm so happy to have parents that support me. But then you open your phone and you see all your peers and they're out doing exactly what you want to be doing in life. And then you shake that off and you go, well, you know, I'm so happy to have a roof over my head. But then like an old wound gets exposed and then it just feels like you're living in a maximum security prison cell. Hey, most of us have been there and a few of us will admit it. I'm getting back to my script, okay. But I want to talk to those people who feel like they're in the deep trenches of this like emotional pit of despair. And they feel like they'll never experience the adult life that they clearly envision for themselves. Think of me of your emotional pickup truck, pulling your emotionally wrecked Subaru out of the ditch. That's what we're doing today. Because as the been there done that record holder for this dead end yet desperate state you can be in, I got you. Okay, so hold on. Number one, you need to give your feelings a title and a bio. So in layman's terms, we're essentially like meat suits on this earth, and the only way that we really have emotions scientifically, okay, is through these like little electric pulses of our nervous system just going through our body. So we're always feeling something, and even when we don't feel like we're experiencing emotion, I think that is an emotion. I know it is, I just can't prove it yet, and I don't think I am the person to go down that road. I just know it. And just like when you have an ailment, you go to the doctor because you're like, what is this? How can I fix it? You have to do that with your emotions. And I know you're like, but Madison, I know when I experience anger, it's anger. Give it a try. Stick with me, guys. Obviously, I'm not insinuating that you're stupid and you've never like knew what you were feeling before, but I think if you haven't done it before, it could be really beneficial when big emotions come up, just to like, whoop, grab it and go, what is this emotion? Because usually your first guess or the initial thought is not the full story. For example, there can be like certain triggers that can go off and it makes you go back to like square one. Oh my gosh, you're like, what, 6 years old again and you feel this way. So you're just gonna play through the motions of this story that you know so well. And recently, I'm not even kidding you, like in the last 3-4-ish months when this like trigger went off in my case, I will say I got to a point where I was tired of it. I was tired of it because I knew that my reaction wasn't the only way to go about things, but like I saw no other way out. But this time, when the certain trigger came back, I just really sat with it and inspected how I was feeling. My head felt like it was just expanding like a hot air balloon. And if I wasn't really in the present moment this time, I would have just assumed, oh, it's anger, whatever. But no. When I asked myself, why am I feeling this way? I'm feeling this way because I feel unloved. That was the emotion I was really feeling. It doesn't have to be trigger related. It's just like, I'm usually a very zen person, and these like childhood things that come up are like the only thing that sets me off. Otherwise, you know, trolls, comments, people at work, random strangers, you cannot get to me. Family does. That is my burden to bear. Anywho, whenever a complex or a big emotion comes up, or you can use this with any emotion that comes up, but usually I need the most clarity in thinking when these big emotions do, these big negative emotions come up. I'm like, whoa, what is going on? Your first bit of homework is whenever those big emotions do come up, name it and give it a bio. So that way it just like puts everything in context. Number 2, you gotta choose a path. After you're given this feeling a name, you have to carry it. And at first it's just a 1-lane street, right? But now, there's a fork in the road. And there's 2 paths. You have to choose. You cannot stay still. You cannot hesitate. So it's less of a road, more a conveyor belt, because you're just continuously going down this path. But you get to choose between these 2 paths. And it's probably what you think it is. Are we going to be positive about this or negative? Stay with me. When I say positive, I don't mean beating yourself with a silly stick into, I'm happy. That does nothing. That does absolutely nothing. Even SpongeBob can get sad. So when I mean positive, I don't mean toxic positivity. I mean, we're going to find the silver lining. We're going to try to see how this can be spun to gold. And negative is just accepting, you know, this is the way it is and it's awful. Which I have to say, that is how I've always done things before this year, really. And I got to tell you, every single time I went down that road, I've gotten the same results. But when I take this road, sometimes I would teeter back and forth. But this road has benefited my life greatly. So that's why I want to tell more people about it, okay? So you have to choose. Will we work on this emotion, or will we tell ourselves the same story? Do we have the courage to change our way of thinking? Or is our thinking concrete, there's nothing that can be done, You know what to do, you know what this life's all about, and this is how it is, and this is how it will be done. This is totally up to you. I just have to say one thing. If you chose the negative route, I have nothing else to say to you, because everything else will be for the people who are trying to change their thoughts. And I don't want to change your thoughts. The only change that can ever happen in your life has to come from you, not from strangers on the internet telling you, obviously not your parents or your friends or colleagues telling you, because otherwise we would be different. So I'll be a gracious host and allow you to, click on another video. It's over here. And I wish you well in your journey. Yeah. Okay, if you're still here, let's rock and roll. Number 3, reframe. Once you know it's a negative thought, reframe it. So now that you're carrying this really negative emotion and you know why you're having it, we have to change that why just a little bit. We're not going to be I guess you can be a little delusional about it. But for those of us who had such a concrete way of looking at things and thinking oh, this is happening because, well, mom and dad love you more, or this is happening because you guys, have done X, Y, Z to me in the past, whatever it may be, you have to allow yourself to be wrong. Ooh. When I realized that I might not be right, thinking why people are doing what they're doing, the world got a lot lighter. So I would think the first step in this reframing process is that you have to admit that you could be wrong, and then get curious. What are the other reasons why this is happening? Could they be telling the truth about why they did X, Y, Z? Are you able to have a conversation with them to understand them better? And I want to preface this by saying, this is going to take time and applied effort. You will never arrive. Like a lot of things in life, if you stop practicing it, it goes away. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I wish this wasn't the case. And I think there's maybe a smattering here or there. You don't really have to work as hard as you once did. But this reframing, especially if it's from a childhood wound, it's gonna be a daily practice, if not hourly, if not seemingly by every second. And that in no way is meant to discourage you. That's actually supposed to empower you, because if you feel like you're not making any progress and you're hitting the same walls and having to stop yourself and go, okay, what is actually going on here? Yeah, that is what it looks like probably for the rest of our lives. But when you're doing this reframing process, don't see it as a timeline, see it as a lifetime, okay? Ooh, bars. Okay, now we're getting out of interpersonal land and more just focusing on this in you. If you're listening to this, I'm pointing at the brain with my 2 fingers. I did want to touch on interpersonal relationships, because so often I'm doing great, I'm doing good, and then all of a sudden, ooh, I trip and fall, and all of my progress seems to wipe out. Just like taking a game cartridge? Whoa. I can't say that word. Taking that game file out of the DS and you lose all your progress, it seems like, because your emotional Subaru drove into another ditch, and now you gotta get a whole new one. That's what it at least feels like for me, and I know I'm not alone in this. So if I had those tools sooner, I would be able to make more progress. Anyways, here we go. Number 4. We have to talk about this before we talk about anything else, because I can assure you this applies to you. Look at what thinking realistically has done for you so far. Are you satisfied? So this is my plea to give delusion, or really just stupidity, a try. And I say utter stupidity because sometimes thinking delusionally makes me feel like a clown. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a partner out there for me. He's out there for me, and I know he's just out there, he's perfect, and I'm gonna be his dream girl the way that he's my dream boy, and I feel stupid. I feel like I'm wasting my time, but I gotta tell you what, it's better than thinking realistically. Ooh. Is it raining? No, don't sprinkle on my camera. Oh my gosh, we have to change again because it's lightly raining, super bright outside, it's a sun shower. What can you do but move under an umbrella? Anywho, for someone who has a more practical mind, you have to see thinking realistically and thinking delusionally both serve a purpose. Thinking realistically has kept you alive, has made you survive, but the delusional thinking will help you thrive and just become more. Whatever you're wanting or desiring, you can get that through delusional thinking and stupidity thinking. It's gonna make you feel silly, And that's why most people stop, because they're just like, oh my gosh. People say a lot can change in a year, but I know people in my life that and that realistic way of thinking makes you just look at all the evidence for why you can't, and why things have to be hard, and why things, have to be a certain way. And in the delusional thinking, which everyone says, and to me it's just like thinking expansively and thinking positively. It's like, well, a lot can change in a year, a lot can change in 3 months, a lot can change in a day. And the reason why we might not let ourselves really, get into all that heebie-jeebie stuff is because it is unknown, it feels unsafe, and it feels like it might be a waste of time. Like, whoa, I'm gonna spend all this time manifesting, for me, an apartment in Williamsburg. I have my own apartment in Williamsburg, and I could just be like, well, that's unrealistic because I'm not making a bajillion dollars a year, and how am I gonna do X, Y, Z if I have that, and I can't travel full time if I have that type of rent. It's like, it can be so easy just to jump to why not without giving any thought to why not? Like, why can't it? And honestly, I will say that has been my little, lifeline, my little, what's that donut rafter? Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting simple things. What is that called? That donut, that has been my lifeline whenever I find myself in the pits of despair, and I just take a break and I go, okay, delusional thinking. Thinking realistically and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't get out, I can't get out. I can. I will. And this delusional thinking really also has to go off of like the reframing. I saw this one video on TikTok of this girl being like, you have to act as if, and if you can't act as if, for example, if you want a Lamborghini, but obviously you're driving a minivan, but you have to think like, oh, I'm renting this minivan because they're fixing up my Lamborghini at the shop. Or for me, at least, when I'm at home, I think to myself, my time here is limited. My time here is limited. I have to enjoy this because, yes, I don't know when I'm going to move out, but I am going to move out and I'm not coming back. So I need to enjoy this. I don't know, you can give yourself like a year, 3 months after this holiday's over, then I'm gone. So I really need to enjoy this. And this also goes into our next point. If you're sad and you live at home, you need to start taking little actions here and there to stay ready to move out. This is a great way to act as if. Personally, I have been downsizing my closet because in my head I'm like, well, I don't want to move all this stuff. Like, this is a lot of stuff to move, and I want to make my move out much easier. Do I know when I'm moving out? No. Have I looked at apartments? Yes, but I have not like made any other action outside of that. And what that does to my psyche is like putting this thought into process of, I am moving out, I'm not staying here forever, because it can be so easy just to think of, I'm living at home, I'm with my parents, that's it. This is all there ever is. You have to put more emphasis on, I'm living at home, I'm living with my parents, and this is temporary. Those simple thoughts are the little heat wave that's going to make your hurricane of moving out. And a lot of people love to talk about nervous systems, and I don't know that much about nervous systems other than like thinking delusionally and putting yourself in the mental framework of situations allows your body to feel safer for when those situations come. And for me, I love my parents, so I know there's going to be a certain degree of sadness when I move out. And so within that, what I'm really focusing on is like really enjoying the moment and looking through life through a lens of, I'm moving out, this situation is not going to last forever, so I need to enjoy it. So when that time comes, I don't feel like, oh, well, maybe I can do like another month. Let's just delay it a little bit. No. I will have already had all of those emotions and, nice reflective moments and very sentimental memories coming up. They're already done. So when the move out's time, it will be time to go. Also, please do an input assessment or like an input audit. What type of content are you consuming? Is the majority of your content you're consuming doomsday, or like people just talking about the bad job report or like the bad housing crisis and whatever? It may feel like you're just getting information. You are getting information. And I would say it's good to know about it, but once you start like actively consuming and going out of your way to really watch this doomsday content, you gotta stop. Because that's giving you a lot of evidence as to why you can't move out. That is just cementing your fear of moving out. And I know you're probably not afraid to move out, but like the reason why you came back home is probably because you're in a situation where you don't have a lot of money. Because if you had the money, or if you knew where you wanted to go, maybe you wouldn't be here. Or you know what, I'll just talk for myself. I live at home because I know if I get rent, all my money is going to be going towards that. I do make money. It goes like this, but I'm saving up my acorns at the moment. And for reasons I don't have to get into, the course of this year has been quite crazy, especially in economic terms. And there has been this great big question mark over my forehead, right here, being like, well, what do I do? There's a lot of uncertainty. So I feel even safer just being at home. And you know what? I don't think there's ever gonna be a good time. If you looked in the recent decade, each year had its own crisis. Each year had its own thing that, people would look at and be like, well, I can't move out because of that thing. It's never gonna go away. You have to go out when it's good for you. Really assess what your inputs are. Money scares aside, you need to be also watching what you consume from your peers. Because if you're watching a lot of people who, for my example again, if you're watching a lot of people who are living in your dream city, who are doing your dream jobs and whatnot, it can be so disheartening because that's not you. Yes, it can be encouraging. Yes, it can be, very, what's the word? Motivational to get out there and do that. I find for myself at a certain point when most of my feed becomes that type of content, I get sad because I'm reminded of where I'm not instead of being reminded where I am. And in those instances, I'm very quick to forget all the other cool things I've done in my life. And maybe you do too. Like, you just see, like, I'm living at home, everyone else is not, woe is me. But you probably have accomplished things that those people haven't. Like, it's not a black and white situation. But in those moments, maybe it's late at night, maybe it's after emotional discourse or whatever the thing may be. You're on your phone, you're consuming content that is making you feel sad, you gotta cut it out. You gotta realize, like, this thing is making me sad because I'm probably jealous about this. So that is just a reminder that this is a goal I'm working towards. I want to live in this city, I want to have these jobs, I want to be in this type of community, and that's it. Mute them, block them, do whatever you have to do to protect your peace. But input assessments now and then will really help. And I want to end with a few phrases that have really helped me just snap out of it, because sometimes you just need a little quick, pull of the band-aid and then you're back. My go-to snapback phrase is, if other people are moving out of their parents' home at my age, why not me? The second one isn't really a phrase, but just like the reframing of, there's things happening to me right now that I wouldn't be able to enjoy or claim, but I'm able to do both of those things because I live at home. Another one is realizing that I have parents that love me, and they have a house, and they have a room, and they have a bed that they're sharing with me. Or they're letting me use. We're not using the same, And the last phrase, and something that I don't deal with anymore because I see your guys' comments all the time, is just, I'm not alone in this. This is not a unique set of circumstances. Like, it's not a main character moment. I am one of many, as are you. And so to be here and think, like, very, egotistically, might I say, of like, oh, it's just me, no one understands me. Get a grip. Respectfully, get a grip. Actually, one more before we leave. The only thing constant in life is change. So this is gonna change too. This is not out of the equation. Anyways, guys, I put this together because just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I went into this spiral again, and I'm like, whoa. I thought we're over this. Like, it's so obvious that A, I'm on my way out, B, it's not that bad a thing and I'm making this work, and C, like, thinking this way goes nowhere. It does nothing, so why am I thinking this way? And then, I was able to get myself out of it as we just went over, but I just wanted to make a quick little video about this because I'm going through it. Who knows how many other people are going through it as well. And with that, I'm gonna leave you with the wise words of RuPaul, who once said, hopefully this is right. If not, I'm gonna put this over here. You can look into the void of the darkness, just don't stare at it. I'll see you in the next one.